Hey guys, Seeney here, and welcome to another episode on the Australian Wealth Channel. And today we are talking about the best investments that you can make in your 20s. Okay, so your 20s are a really formative period of most people's lives. I personally believe it's the time that is make or break for most people when it comes to setting themselves up for the rest of your life. If you're going out every single day in your 20s and you're just partying all the way through, then you're gonna burn through a lot of money, and that's gonna be really difficult to set yourself up later in life. But if you can make some really smart decisions in your 20s, then it's going to lead to fantastic results in the future. So before we get started, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It helps to get these videos out to more people so that they can understand more about this information. So today we're going to be talking about the best investments that you can make. So obviously there's a lot of different things that you can do in your 20s as you start to earn more and more money and gain more skills. So we're going to talk about a few that I think are the most important in your 20s. So I personally believe that the number one investment that you can make in your 20s is to go YOLO completely into Bitcoin. No, that is not the case, sorry. That is just a joke, do not do that, it's a very bad idea. But the most important investment that I think that you can make in your 20s is to invest in yourself. Now, what do I mean by that? So when a lot of people think of investing, they think, oh, I invest in stocks, I might invest in an index fund, might invest in property. And yes, of course, they are all investments, but I think the most important one is to be able to invest in yourself. So this means learning new things, developing new skills, also having experiences, things that don't directly correlate to earning more money, is I think those kind of things are really important. So we're going to take those two one at a time, developing skills and experiences. So with skills, it's pretty apparent why developing new skills would lead to earning more money and getting yourself a great investment in the future. Learning a new technology, something that not many people can do, people are willing to pay for those things. So if that's something that you can develop, regardless of what it is, then that's something that's going to lead to great results in the future. The sooner that you can develop new skills, the better it is. Because as you're younger, your brain is a lot more malleable. And what that means is that you can develop new skills a lot easier than someone a little bit older, because it is harder to learn things as you get older. So your 20s and even younger, if possible, is really the time to be working on new skills and learning new things, because you're going to be able to do it so much quicker than someone in an older age bracket. And the second component of this is experiences. I think experiences are really important because it opens your eyes up to a lot of different things in this world. It's very easy to sort of get stuck in your little bubble and not go and see what else is outside in the world. But I think it's a very important thing to do because it really opens your eyes, and it's very much a learning experience. So the more you can try different experiences, you might find something that you absolutely love. So I think for that reason alone, it's definitely worth doing in your 20s. Okay, so now the next best investment that I want to talk about is investing in an index fund. So this is a great one, especially when you're young, because when you're young, you have the power of compound interest. Now, anyone that knows anything about compound interest knows how powerful it can be over a longer period of time. So generally, the stock market returns about 7 to 8% every year on average. Some years it will go way up, and some years it's going to go way down. But if you average that out over a long period of time, 7 to 8% is the average. So this is really cool because over time, as you start to invest more and more money, the effects of compound interest increase. So I've run examples on this channel before where you might be investing, say, $100,000 over time, and that ends up turning into over $350,000. So you can imagine what doing this over the course of, say, 40 years would be like. So let's say that you're 20 years old and you start to invest money every single week. It can only be a small amount, as most people can only afford when they're young. And then over the course of 40 years, you keep compounding over 7%, then you're gonna end up with millions of dollars, even if you're only investing small amounts every week, which is really, really awesome. And it's achievable for the average person to do. So getting started with an index fund is a great way to grow your wealth and make a great investment in your 20s. All right, now the next one that I want to talk about, some people will be able to achieve this, some people will not be able to achieve this because everyone's circumstances are different, and that is an investment property. Now, an investment property is a fantastic investment for a number of different reasons. One, there's some great tax advantages to owning real estate. And number 2, you have the power of using leverage safely. Since the concept of property became a thing, over time, property has continued to appreciate in value. And obviously, some years there are some dips, but over the course of the long term, property has continued to appreciate because they're not really making any more land. We're kind of stuck with what we've got here on Earth. So if you have the ability to put a 10% deposit down on a property and you can afford to service that property, even if you have no tenants in there, then that is going to be something that is going to be very powerful for you in the future. Now, the reason that that is going to be powerful is because of the advantage of leverage. Let's say that you end up buying a property that's worth $500,000 and you put $100,000 down. So you'd be putting a 20% deposit down. What that means is that you've put some money down, but you're also using other people's money to pay for the entire asset. Now, of course, you do have to pay interest on this, but if you're buying a property that's in a great area, it's going to appreciate at a faster rate than what the interest is. So it's going to end up making you more money in the long run with the power of leverage. And this is how a lot of people have managed to get really wealthy quite quickly. Of course, there are some risks to using leverage. It's a lot safer in real estate than stocks. I would not suggest using leverage in stocks, but I, of course, use leverage in my real estate properties. So the great thing about that is you don't need to pay for an entire property as long as you can service their repayments. There's a lot of great opportunities for investment properties around Australia. I'm currently investing in Brisbane. There's been some great returns up there. And your average property is around $500,000, $600,000. So to put 10% down, you're only looking at about $50,000, $60,000 plus stamp duty and other costs. So you'd be looking at more like $70,000 or $80,000, which I think over a few years is achievable for most people. And then of course you can springboard off these deals in the long run as the equity in your properties increase. So you can use one property to go and get a second, and so on and so on. Okay, now the next best investment that I want to talk about is an emergency fund. Now, this is incredibly important, I think, for everyone, because there are times of crisis in the world, as we've seen, where things can change very rapidly. So it's very important that you're prepared for any sort of strange situation that comes up. So most people recommend having 3 months worth of expenses in an emergency fund. I think that's probably not enough, as we can see what's currently happened. So I think at minimum 6 months expenses in an emergency fund, even 9 months. I think that way you can have a real safety buffer of you earning literally no money and still having all of your expenses paid. Emergency funds have saved a lot of people, and chances are if you don't have it sitting there and sitting away, you're going to end up spending it. So it's a really good idea to make sure that this is set and that it's good to go. You obviously don't need to have 9 months expenses set straight away, because that can be quite challenging for a lot of people, but contributing small amounts each week or each month is going to be a great way to build that up. So regardless of what ends up happening, you're going to be in a much stronger financial position than most people. Okay, the next best investment that I want to talk about is your health. Now, this is so important because when you're in your 20s, you generally don't notice too many health issues. But as you start to get to the back half of your 20s, certain things might start to pop up. You're not as flexible as you used to be. You know, it's a bit harder to get out of bed in the morning. Like your hangovers might get worse if you drink a bit. There's a lot of different things that can end up happening. But if you can look after your health, making sure you're going to the gym regularly, making sure you've got that good flexibility, good strength, then that's going to lead to a lot better results later in life. And the same thing goes for food. It's really easy to eat a lot of crap food when you're in your 20s. I'm definitely guilty of it for sure. But it's really important to be spending on food that is really quality. I think I spend on food more than the average person, and I think it is a really important one for some of the reasons that I've just said. It really is the fuel that is driving your performance, whether that be mentally or physically, all of those different things. If you're putting crap fuel into your car, then it's not going to go very well. Like that's obvious. So I don't know why people do that with their bodies. So don't be afraid to get food that's a little bit more expensive and significantly healthier. That is going to be a great investment for the rest of your life. It really helps to improve the quality of your life and your performance. Okay, and the final investment that I want to talk about is a quality network of people. Now, They say that you're the average of the 7 people that you hang around the most, and I think that's incredibly true. If you're hanging around a bunch of losers, then chances are you're going to be a loser too. I know it sounds like a harsh reality, but it's very much true. So you want to be building a network of people that want to go in the same direction as you. They want to continue to grow, they want to improve themselves, they want to make more money. If these are your goals, then that's what you want to be doing. You need to seek out those people and try to minimize contact with people that have the wrong attitude and are going in the wrong direction for you. I think it's probably one of the most important things, and I cannot overstate the importance of that. So seek out great people. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this video was really valuable for you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps to get these videos out to more people, and hopefully they can learn a few things as well. So those are the best investments in your 20s that I personally believe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later. We'll be right back.